hello, APSAadians. It's me, your girl, your resident political coordinator for the 2020-2021 academic year. And this is my podcast. This is Act Up, April's Conversation Time, where myself and an assortment of individuals, like between board members and my friends, will be giving their 2 cents on political, social, and cultural topics that I just find interesting. Since it's the start of the school year, I figured that we start with something a little bit more lighthearted and fun before we get into the deep stuff. So today's topic is Surviving College 101. On the panel today, we have 3 lovely individuals here with me to help guide y'all through these tough times. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves to the pod? Mirei, you go first.
Alrighty. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Mirei Kubota. I'm a 3rd year and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a business management major with an emphasis in entrepreneurship, and I am executive vice president for APSA this year.
So, yeah, and then Xavier.
Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Xavier Major. My major is mechanical engineering. I'm a 2nd year here at State. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my position in APSA is the academic co-coordinator.
And last but not least, our man Dalton over here.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Dalton. I'm a 2nd year at State, and my pronouns are he, him, his, and my position in APSA is that I'm the executive secretary for this year.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. So now that we have all of that out of the way, I just want to ask y'all, what are you worried about coming into the school year? If I'll go, you want me to go first?
Yes.
I think for me, generally, it's the fact that everything is on Zoom and I have professors who are doing synchronous and asynchronous, and it's really messy. Am I the only one that thinks that way? No? Yeah, and so I find it difficult to keep everything balanced and organized. And I'm just wondering, is that what it's like for y'all? I mean, y'all are in different majors than me, so. Xavier?
It's quite chaotic out here, let me tell you. I have teachers like having to reschedule Zoom classes all the time, and just keeping on track of like what's been posted for like which class on Blackboard. Is it on Canvas? Did they send us an email for some secret meeting that you like didn't know about until last minute? There's so many things for me to keep tabs on, and so I've just been trying to like stay afloat and also stay motivated to keep like wanting to like stay on top of things.
Yeah. Mirei?
Honestly, I know this year they like switched so that like you could only check your SCSU email through your SCSU account. That's kind of like messing me up a little bit because I don't normally check that. And then since I am like taking my upper division classes, I'm actually just like overall upset because I actually really like my upper division classes because it's more centered around like projects and like what I actually want to do in the future. So there's like not that many assignments to do or homework, so I don't have to like worry about that. But it's just like, it sucks that I don't get to see my teammates or actually do in-person work.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. What about you, Dalton?
I mean, the adjustment, like, I think for most STEM majors is like, you'll find like that teachers were kind of ready for this to happen. But like, I think at the end of the day, you just figure out your own means of like managing everything, kind of like how Xavier talked about, like everything on different platforms and stuff. And there's a bunch of resources, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still like kind of confusing. And like, you know, working with a calendar, working with like some kind of to-do list app or something like that would probably help like in managing with all the changes.
I like how you mentioned being a STEM major because you're also an English major, which brings me to my question for you. Why did you decide to double major, and why majors in like 2 separate fields?
So I think for me, I just thought double majoring was worth it because of like kind of the opportunities that you get. And I don't know, I'm like pretty, like I'm seeking perspective all the time. So definitely like working on my STEM major, which is computer science, and like understanding like how, despite me like growing up with like technology surrounding me and like kind of wanting to venture into that, like knowing that like I also like have a different passion with English. So like understanding why to double major and like what's in it for you, and having 2 degrees at the end of your time in college might be a worthwhile experience, especially if you like transition it into something that would be valuable to you.
I like that. Personally, I am also a double major, for those of y'all who don't know. And I kind of just did it because this whole Rona thing really freaked me out. So I just, when classes started going online, I was like, oh, I'm not ready to be an adult yet. So I just added another major because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna graduate with my friends. There's no need to rush, right? And I mean, okay, Mirei, you're the other third year on this panel. So, you know, I feel like the both of us are out here kind of just like, we want to savor the time that we have here, right? Do you think that, like, is there anything that you regret, like, not having gotten to do thus far in college?
Honestly, I wish I was like more involved on campus. Um, last
APSA.
semester, last semester I did try to get more involved, but I'm like a semester ahead, so I'm graduating a semester early, which makes me feel like I have even less time to get more involved. And yeah, like the biggest thing I honestly do regret is just like not getting more involved my first year.
Yeah. Xavier and Dalton, both of y'all were first years last year, and you both decided to join APSA. So I'm gonna go to Xavier first. Xavier, what made you pick APSA? Like, what made you think, oh, the Asian org, let me go there and find some friends?
Well, I was with one of my classmates that I made friends with like on the first day, and we got out of engineering early, and there were tabling events. So we just walked around, and I was just following my friend. She was just going talking to everybody, and then I went to APSA, and I had like a nice conversation with them. I gave them my email, and I said I'd check out their GBM. And there were other orgs that I gave my email to, but I never really went. And then once I came, I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. It's kind of quirky though. And I was like, you know what? This seems interesting. And I just stuck with it until I became comfortable enough to go to other events aside from GBM.
Nice, nice. Dalton, what about you? What did APSA?
So I think for me, like, I know many of our first years who could potentially be hearing this, like, probably came from high school with like, I like to think of it like different families, you know, like, oh, like this is my extracurriculars or these are my sports I did. And like, for me, like, I already kind of knew like that I was like looking to just like kind of reach out with and like make friends with like a college org or something like that, like in my first year. But I think you kind of find like the specifics of like what you're looking for just by like putting yourself out there and like um and just like trying new things. So I think as a first year I just tried to take like that kind of advice to heart, and that's how I found myself with APSA.
It's really nice. I think that APSA, for me, because I didn't make any friends my first year of college, I literally just joined APSA because two of my friends were like, you should do it and you should join mentor-mentee line. And so, yeah, that's literally how I got picked up. And then now, look at me here a year later, and now I'm on board, which sounds crazy. Yeah, I don't know. But it's also something that I find kind of like unwinding and relaxing to me, like to be around friends like this, because, you know, college gets stressful. And I think that having friends and like having a place where you can go and feel, you know, welcome, which, you know, a lot of APSA GBMers, they're the homies, they're very friendly and welcoming. You know, it's just really nice to be able to like go somewhere and like meet new people that, you know, are just, they're all in the same spot as you. Which brings me to another question. What do y'all do to unwind and relax now that everything's online? Anybody can go.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I think like the whole like college dynamic is kind of interesting because obviously like when you're on campus, I feel like a lot of things like try to grab your attention, you know, and that's like at the end of the day, I think that's something that you know, like once our first years get on campus, they'll kind of understand more and come to enjoy that, like, oh, like maybe you're doing work in the library and a friend comes over and then you start to get, you know, not necessarily like distracted, but like you start to kind of branch out and your day like turns into a different day pretty much. But like, you know, when you're like at home, that's kind of like, what was that?
Those are the best times of days.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course, for sure. But you know, like since it's like more contained now, like obviously I feel like people have to go even more out of their way to like kind of like make those experiences happen. So like, I mean, I know for me, like I've kind of like grown up around video games and stuff and kind of use that to unwind, but also it's like talking to my friends from school and like making those connections like consistent even like in this online environment.
Xavier, how do you feel about
Um,
unwinding?
Well, before quarantine, I did a lot of jujitsu, which was stressful, but like physically stressful, and so I was able to just like go in drone mode and like uh kind of like fight out like anything that I was dealing with, and it would just I'd come out feeling a lot better mentally, anyways. I get beat up, but that's kind of fun. But now I'm like Dalton. I'm a little bit of a gamer. I play games. I hang out with my friends online,
We got some
and
gamer boys up in here.
you know it. You gotta expand your brain in different directions. What was I saying? Oh wait. Okay, yeah. So I play games. I just hang out with people online, and I walk my dogs at night like every day, and when no one's out. So that's also something
A
nice
little
to do.
sus, but
A
okay.
little bit of walking around.
It's good. At least you get some fresh air.
For
But
sure.
mask up, all of you.
Always.
I'm saying this
Always.
as
My
your
mask is
political
always on.
coordinator. It is, it's important to mask up, keep yourselves safe and healthy. Mirei, what about you? Because you live the furthest from all of us. The three of us here, we all live here in San Diego, and you're up there like 3 hours away from us, and you're, busy, you're working jobs, you got internships. How are you balancing all of this?
I think, well, last semester I had to do like APSA board because I was activities coordinator, and then I was pledging for my fraternity, as well as like it was my first semester taking upper division classes. So when I forced myself to be in that kind of environment, I like really picked up on really good time management. So like this semester, I'm currently like doing 2 internships. I'm on a break from my job right now, like my physical job, but I'm thinking of doing another job remotely. And I'm also in a committee for my frat, and I'm on APSA board.
Girl.
But I honestly think time management, I'm like really good at it or something, because like I feel like I still have time to like talk to my friends, like make time for like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Have you been making a lot of TikToks in your free time?
Not as much as you.
Wow, the weight just came for me. By the way, this is a good little plug for apps of TikTok, which we will be releasing soon. Keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I think that it's important to keep yourself relaxed, take everything in moderation, and just check in with yourself and check in with your friends, because especially now, like, college is already hard enough. Add a global pandemic on top of that. Just brings you and your friends closer, I feel like, because you gotta really get out there to talk to them. So I have another question for Mirei. Since you are, a busy girl, busy bee, I was wondering, because I have not built my resume yet. This is like my first foray into doing extracurriculars and things that, to make myself look better on the resume. When do you think for our freshmen, for our newbies here, when do you think that people should start worrying about like applying for internships, for jobs, and like just doing extracurriculars, branching out? When do you think that they should start doing that?
I think it's like never too early to really do that. I even think like I started really like thinking about it my sophomore year, but I really do wish I started thinking about it more my freshman year, because like there's so many opportunities, especially when school was in person, because I know like there's a lot of volunteering opportunities that could also boost up your resumes. I know last semester I tried to volunteer to like something that pertained to my major, like business things, and also like just joining a lot of clubs, even like with remote. I think like just trying to like do your best by being involved. And there's a lot of, I know like looking for jobs is like not really optimal right now, but there's a lot of places that are still hiring remotely, and there's a lot of startups going on recently. So like getting an intern, even if it's unpaid, I think it's definitely worth it, because internships is more about like the experience and what you gain from it. So yeah, never too early.
Would you say that you liked your experiences with internships thus far?
Yeah, because I interned with a startup and I eventually want to do my own startup. So it's like a very fast-paced environment, and I like working in fast-paced environments, and I think it really like developed myself. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just like a better person and I know more things, which makes me feel better.
It's all about those experiences, baby. You gotta get out there. Gotta make, you know what? Honestly, we just have to experience as much as we can, like in this short amount of time, because college goes by so fast. I honestly can't believe that I'm already a third year and that I nearly was gonna graduate this upcoming school year, and then I decided no, pulling the plug on that. But yeah, do y'all think that like, do you feel like college has gone by too quickly for y'all?
I have.
Oh.
That's it. I have.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, as an engineering major, I was supposed to like graduate in 5 years, and now I'm gonna graduate in 4. So like, I'm kind of 4 is like, I'm taking my time.
We stand that. We stand that from an intellectual king. And this is why you are academic co-coordinator. Yes, sir.
Yup.
And yeah, going back to the whole graduating in 4 years part, is this because you took community college classes when you were in high school? Because y'all don't know this, but Xavier actually went to a high school that allowed you to take community college classes, and I just think that's really cool. But do you think that it actually prepared you for this whole college experience? Is it different from the 4 year?
Well, I'm glad you asked, AJ. Yes, it has. It has prepared me. Dual enrolling in high school and college has totally prepared me for like the workload, not and the environment that I was gonna be in. Sure, communities is a little like more chill, but like the seriousness of like exams and like sticking to due dates and how I'm not gonna get babied by my teachers really became apparent to me like my junior year when I started the program, because the program is only allowed for like juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
And so it did prepare me for a lot of things that like how to use scantrons. Like I didn't know how to use a scantron in high school. My high schools didn't do that. And just like walking around campus on my own, buying my own stuff. Like I felt like a little adult in a little controlled space. And so I just felt not very prepared, but I was relatively prepared for
Relatively
university.
prepared. I like that. Did either Mirei or Dalton, did y'all take AP classes in high school, and do you think that those prepared you for college? No?
I did, but I don't know. I think it really depends on like, because for AP classes, it kind of like for the community college route, like it's kind of more streamlined and like definitely prepares you for college. But like AP classes is kind of like a mixed bag. Like who's your teacher, how much, and how well do they teach, stuff like that. But I mean, you still take the units, so.
True. And CSU is not gonna flex, but CSUs like to take a lot of AP credits. That's one of the things that I like to flex onto my UC friends, because a lot of my UC friends were like, "Ah, man, these credits, they don't count." And I'm over here like, yes, baby, I got all of them. What about you, Mirei? Did you think that your AP, you shook your head no? Do you think that they just didn't help you at all?
Well, like the class itself, I was like, whatever. I mean, like, it was nice because I didn't have to take a lot of my GEs, but I don't think it it was similar because all my like my AP classes, like it didn't pertain to my major or something that I wanted to learn, or I furthered my education in college too. So I didn't think it like prepared me for college. If anything, it's good because I'm graduating early, I guess.
Yeah, I see that. I think personally, I don't know. I was a huge nerd in high school. Ask anybody, because I did 4 years of quiz bowl. That was the only thing that I did. I threw all of my time and effort into it. And I took it's so funny because I took all of these science classes, and I took so many like advanced math classes, you know what I mean? Like semi-advanced. It's just really a way to flex on other people. But I took all of those classes just because I was like, GPA boost. I need to go to a good college. And then come to realize, senior year, I was like, what do I want to do? So then I was like, I'm gonna apply to be a political science major. And so that's how I ended up doing poli-sci, because I just really love like law and the government. Clearly, because I'm the political coordinator, I am a little bit enthusiastic about it. But I think for me, the classes that mattered the most to me, the ones that I enjoyed the most, really were the ones that taught me things about time management. They taught me how to take notes and not be, dumb about it, not to highlight the whole textbook. I feel like those were just like very basic things that I got to figure out when I was still in high school, that I noticed that a lot of people in college, like, they just don't know how to do it. And I think it's just really, really, really humbling, maybe, because when you're in high school, sometimes like you walk in, like, at least for me, I walked in with like some imposter syndrome, because I was like, all of my friends were super smart in high school, and I just felt like, oh man, I'm all here, I'm like alone. All of my friends went off to UCs, they went to different parts of the state, and I was just like, how do I navigate this college like experience when I have no friends here, And I think that if there's one thing that I'm grateful that like high school taught me, it's that to just like be independent. And then once I got that part down, I joined APSA. I even joined APSAadians very briefly. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just, orgs are a good way to just get to know people. And I think that it's just really nice to have those friends here. And I think that a lot of them like can share your experiences. Yeah, what else? Is there anything that y'all miss about being on campus? I know this is kind of bad to ask for all of the newbies who will not get to be on campus this year, but what were your favorite parts about, being at SDSU? What was that environment like for you? Let's start with Mirei, because Mirei dormed, and she had an apartment at SDSU. So start with you.
Okay. Well, I really like dorming, and I also really like living in the school east apartment, just because like campus is right there, and like, yeah, like you get to hang out with your friends like constantly, and like I don't have to like tell my parents like, oh yeah, I'll be home around blah blah blah, or like anything. I have to stay up until like 3 a.m. in the library. That's like what I did in my freshman year. Like me and like basically last year's board members, we would all like hang out in the library until like 4 a.m. And then like after we're like, okay, let's go home, and then we'll just walk to each other's dorms. So like that was really fun. And like being in an apartment that's like school lease is also fun, just because like you still get to live with your friends. And whenever I forgot something at home or my apartment, I'll just have to like walk fast before like class started, and I'll just get it. Unlike the commuters where they're like, oh my god, I have to drive home, and I'm like, haha, don't have to experience that. But
LOL, that's a fat F for the rest of us because we're all commuters. But Dalton and Xavier here are the only ones that drive because I am too afraid to drive. But Mirei, do you think that it was a double-edged sword to be living like that close to all of your friends? Do you think that it distracted you or made it difficult for you to focus at all?
no, because I'm like my own worst enemy when it comes to procrastination anyways. So if anything, being with my friends and studying with them gave me more pressure to work, because I'll look around, I'm like, oh my god, they're actually doing work. I should probably do that too. So yeah, I think like for me, it was really good that I dormed, or like I got to dorm and like live by myself and with my friends. It made me definitely more mature, but I also felt kind of bad when I want to hang out with like my commuter friends,
Mhm.
because like they'll go home and I don't want to text them and be like, hey, you want to come back to campus so you can hang out with me for like maybe an hour or two, and then they just have to like drive home again, because I know traffic could get like really bad too.
Yeah, what are y'all's experiences on that, Xavier and Dalton? Because y'all drive, and I know like y'all also, at least I know Xavier. Xavier did some like auxiliaries and stuff before everything got shut down. Do you think that like you think that it was like worth it to like go to school and spend all that time and then be like, even though you were like dead when you got home?
Yes, absolutely. I there was no other reason for me to stay at school if I wasn't for APSA. I would just go to school, go to my classes, go home. That's so like boring and robotic. So at least with auxiliaries and like if I wasn't in my class, I was pretty much in the SLL, which is the like the student learning, what I don't remember what it was called. The student learning or
I always called it the commuter center because
the
that's
community
where
center. That's
that's where
exactly it.
all of the commuters, you just find them. And you know what, this is gonna sound really bad, but like for the most part it's like everybody in like South Bay. Like I feel like everybody from Sweetwater Union High School District, I see them all there. I mean, like I know like Dalton went to Eastlake, so he probably like walks in there and is like, I know all of you. And they're just, they're just there chilling. Yeah, Dalton, like what did you do on campus apart
So
from like studying?
yeah. So I think kind of like what Xavier mentioned, I think that's something um, for commuter students especially that like should be like kept in mind, because like um, definitely if I didn't get involved in apps, so like I wouldn't really have anything to do on campus. It'd be that Monday to Friday, like go through my classes and then go home pretty much. But like getting involved in like APSA's orgs, like or APSA's auxiliaries, like APSA music or kind of it's like different auxiliaries that APSA provides, and other orgs like other cultural orgs like KSA, and also like the overarching like Aztec community, like going to sporting events and stuff like that, like basketball games or football games. Like there's a whole community that you kind of miss when you're not on campus. And obviously like you have to seek it out like in these current times, but once everything gets back to normal and we kind of go back, inevitably, like all that stuff will still be there, and having a connection like inherently will make like moving into that stuff a lot easier.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably like maybe like the least experienced, like least most plain board member of everyone because I never ever like went out or like I still up until now, clearly have not gone to like an SDSU like sporting event up until now. And we get like free tickets to them. I have not been to an SDSU like concert, none of that. Do you like I just feel like there's a whole lot of stuff that we're missing out on that I cannot wait to get back to as soon as this whole pandemic rolls over. Yeah, and with that, um, I'm just trying to see here what else can we talk about. um, I don't know. Is there anything, as one of our academics goes, is there anything specific that you would like to tell people, Xavier? Specific about college?
I got you. Hey, anybody who's listening or watching or both, come to study sessions. As one of the academic co-coordinators, we hold study sessions every Wednesday from 12 to 1:30, and it's just a great place to meet people, hang out, study, sleep. I personally got my main connection to APSA through study sessions. That's what got me to where I am now, because somebody brought me to study sessions and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. There's nice people here. We won't bite you. And especially now we can't because it's a screen. But just know that it's a welcoming environment where you're not gonna like get mad at you if you're not studying. We encourage studying, but I mean, well, there's nothing I can do. It's just a nice space to do whatever. So come to that. Oh, the link will be down below. You see this? It's down there. So check it out, please. I'd love to see you.
And with that lovely plug for our APSA study sessions, I am going to bring this podcast to a close. All of our APSA socials will be down in the description. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Stay safe, hydrate. If you take meds, take your meds. Wear a mask. And yeah, have fun. Go about your day. Because you know what? We all gotta act up sometime. Bye. See you next time.